Before I start this video, I just want to say rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. I grew up listening to so much of his solo music before hockey games, and it used to pump me up so much as a kid. I ended up discovering Black Sabbath a little bit later on and really getting into their music in like my late teens and early 20s. And they're by far my favorite metal band of all time. And to think that Ozzy's gone is just like it's crazy. And I especially so soon after that farewell concert that Black Sabbath just had, it's crazy news, and I just hope he rests easy because he touched a lot of people with his music, myself included. And part of the reason I wanted to make this video is just like to start at least some of the reactions that like I saw from people about his passing and like what people do and like just like the strange times that we live in that I'm sitting late last night I'm about to go to bed, and me and my fiance are just kind of like scrolling through YouTube, and she just clicks on like a random video about Ozzy, and it turns out it was one of those videos that people make, like, those channels that are like completely automated, and it's just, they grab some footage and they have somebody write a script and they have somebody do a voiceover and all that crap. And it starts playing, and I hear about like 30 seconds of it, and I just like I grab the remote and I'm like, turn this off. Like this is so bad. It's literally like somebody made basically like a Wikipedia, like they grabbed like his Wikipedia and just started telling the story of Ozzy in a very like monotone, like just one of those channels. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is wrong with people, man? What the fuck is wrong with people? Like how desperate are you for fucking clicks and views that you put Ozzy Osbourne in your title, and you just and like that, like after the man passed, and you're like, let's just throw together some half-ass, poorly made, stupid video that serves absolutely no purpose just to get us clicks because we put Ozzy Osbourne's name in there and we know that people are going to be looking up Ozzy Osbourne because he just passed away. Like, what kind of fucked up generation do we live in that's something that people do? It's like, it's unbelievable, man. We live in such strange times that it's like you can't even process the shit that happens at times. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy the things that people do, the way that people are. And I know every generation on this earth has probably had people like this. That, I mean, heck, Ozzy was a huge part of counterculture at the time. He was probably like at the heart of counterculture his time. His anti-war messages and everything. And it's just, it's so hard for me at times to look at the way that we are, and to continue to just like to live and be like, all right, everything's all right. And this isn't, immediately it's like you start criticizing things and people are like, oh, you're a doomer and whatever. And I'm definitely an optimist about life, and I think there's enough good people out there in the world, but I don't think that means that you can't necessarily criticize things and point out the crap that exists, because it's like, what's the alternative? Just sit here and be like, la la la, things aren't that bad, just all right. And mind you, I try to have as positive as a mindset as you can have, but you just see certain things, it's like, oh my god. This past weekend, I went on a trip, and I went to Boston, and I hadn't been to Boston in maybe, I'm gonna say, like, shit, now 12 years. I used to go a lot as a kid because, like I said, I grew up playing hockey, and there's a lot of hockey to play in Boston. There's a lot of like tournaments and stuff like that, but I hadn't been in a long time. And there were things about Boston that I liked, but there's some stuff that like I saw that, man, it, I think this is a problem in a lot of the cities in the US in particular, but we the garbage that you see on some of these city streets, Like literally, we went on the street. I think it's called Newberry Street, and it's like one of those. It's got a lot of shops and restaurants and stuff like that. There's a lot of people walking around and whatever, and they their trash cans are like just piled with garbage and like falling out. And I see this stuff and I'm like, man, like what are we doing? What are we doing? Like we can't keep our cities clean. It's sad. It's sad to see stuff like that. And I grew up, mind you, I grew up in New York City, and I'm used to this stuff. Like New York's dirty. It smells. It's just the subways are dirty. They smell. There's rats. And it's like you see stuff like this, and it's like there's people. We tend to have this feeling. A lot of people, at least as Americans, are like where there's just an amazing country and things are just fantastic in the states. And mind you, I love the U.S. I do. But there's a lot wrong with the US. And this is the thing. It's like you can't, at least to some people, I don't think to everybody, but it's like you start complaining and people, well, then leave. It's like, I, I don't want to, I mean, maybe I want to leave at some point. I don't know. But right now, I don't want to. I just want things to be better. You know what I mean? Like, is it too much of an ask that we take care of our garbage problems? Like we clean up our streets a little bit, right? Is that too much of an ask in this day and age? Like it's 2025, and I actually wanted to combine that with, there's like this obsession with AI, right? There's just absolute obsession with AI over the past few years. Everything AI, AI, AI. We need AI. We need AI to do everything. And I'm like looking at a problem like that. Why don't we design some sort of robot? Listen, I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm just some fucking I'm some pleb sitting here playing Grand Theft Auto. Maybe I'm stupid. I could be. Very well could be stupid. Probably am stupid. But but my stupid guy opinion is this: why don't we design some sort of robot that can maybe detect when a garbage can is full and send some sort of notification to, I don't know, the Department of Sanitation in whatever city you're in, and give them a heads up. Hey, by the way, this garbage can is full. Let's try to go get that picked up. Maybe have robots cleaning up the streets. No, 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 no. We need AI to on Google, when we search something on Google, Google's been working perfectly fine for I don't know how long, but now we need Google to give us summaries of things that we look up because that's priority. That's we need that. We need AI to do that. We need AI to make art. To hell with actual artists and creative types, and we need AI generated music, and we need AI generated art to throw those people out of jobs. We don't need no, get rid of that. But like an actual problem that maybe there's a good solution where people don't have to lose their job. No, 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 no. We're not going to use AI for that. Why would we do that? That's stupid, right? I mean, it's crazy. Like there's stuff that's so obvious. At least to me, it's obvious. Maybe I'm nuts. Again, probably am, but it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that our cities are like that. It's sad that people accept that our cities are like that. And mind you, there's people that try to make efforts, and I totally commend the people that make efforts. And like another thing that just it's sad to see is a lot of cities have huge homeless problems. Again, I grew up in New York. You see it, and it's a shame. It's a shame that in the country that we live in, that there hasn't been more of an effort to make sure that nobody ends up in that type of situation, right? It's just it's a shame, and granted, you talk like this and people will be like, oh, you're idealistic, and it's like, what does that even mean in terms of that, in terms of like the homeless problem? It's like we really can't figure that out. We really can't figure out a solution. We have so much money in this country, so much money. We don't know. Like there's people that don't know what the fuck to do with their money, and we can't figure out the homeless problem. We can't figure that out. No politics. Like there was a time, there was a video on this channel. I mean, a couple where I talked about my issues with politics, and that I feel that there's people that maybe they campaign on issues, and it could be either side of the spectrum, but when it comes to stuff like this, it's just there's nothing gets done, and it's hard for me to get excited about any politician because no matter what they campaign on, when it comes to them getting into office and actually doing something, very, very seldom do they actually get the things done that you hope to get done. And the fact that nobody has truly tackled the homelessness issue in this country, it's sad. It's sad, and that's not even something that should be politicized, but it becomes politicized. It's like, why is this a political? Like, this should be as bipartisan as it gets, and nobody wants, and just nope. It's sad, and it's like, and a lot of people be like, well, you could chip in, you can help, and I agree. Go help as much as you can. Go volunteer at a soup kitchen. Go if you can. If you see somebody on the street, they ask you for money. If you have, give them some money, help them out. But there's only so much that one person can do, two people can do, three people. You know what I mean? Like, you need a lot more than that. There's only, $10, $20. There's only so much that can help somebody, and it's just, I don't know, man. It hurts to see that. It's sad that we're like that in this day and age. It's like, this is my problem. Like, it's 2025, and the shit that we're dealing with, the problems that we have. It's like, bro, like, why, like, what are we doing? Where are our priorities? All over the place. And another thing that I experienced while I was in Boston was a big reason we went on the trip. Just short, went over the weekend. Wanted to go whale watching. I really wanted to see whales, and it was more for probably talk about this another day, but it was more from like a spiritual standpoint. Cetaceans are, people know they're some of the most, I mean, the most intelligent species on the planet, and there's more to whales and dolphins, and I think a lot of people understand, and even people that are aware of how smart they are, they don't. I don't think we even come close to understanding how smart they are and their depth. And I just, I wanted to see a whale because I've never seen one, and I've seen videos of them online. I think they're just amazing creatures. And in Boston, and I think in a lot of places that give you the opportunity to go on these types of tours, I had no idea, but they take you out on a huge boat that, like, just it almost like a yacht. I mean, not a yacht, but it's a big boat, and double decker. It's just even three. I think three floors on this boat, and the whole time they're taking you out and they're telling you, like, we're not disturbing the whales, and like, we're just going in their natural habitat and seeing them and whatever. It's like, they take you out like an hour and a half to get out into the water where you could see the whales. And when you get there, like, you kind of start to realize that you're kind of bugging the whales. Imagine you're walking down the street, and like a giant tank comes pulling down, come down the street at you. Right? Maybe it doesn't run you over, but it's like right there, and you get disturbed by it. You're like, oh my god, like, why is there a tank here on? It's like the whole time they're like, oh, we're not disturbing them, we're not disturbing, and like, it's a huge boat coming up on a whale. Yeah, the whale is huge and whatever, and maybe you're not like right next to it, but like, you're in it, you're still kind of in its habitat. So I regretted that. I really wish that I hadn't gone, because I feel like absolutely disturbed the whales. And no, like, beyond that, we're standing online to get on the boat. We see there's people, the people that work on the boat are like coming in and like lugging like giant bags of stuff, and it's food and drinks and, like, alcohol and soda and whatever, like, just loading because they're selling stuff on the boat. And and I'm sitting here, I'm like, we really can't be on a boat for a few hours without some fucking alcohol, or like, you're going in, and like, you have the opportunity to see arguably one of the most majestic creatures on the planet, and you can't do it without a fucking vodka, or a whiskey or whatever, or a soda, or a fucking pretzel. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, if you guys have ever seen Idiocracy, it's like, it's crazy. If you've ever seen that movie, if you haven't, you should go watch it. It's probably gonna hurt you to watch it. if you're like consciously aware of this just stupid shit that you see on a day-to-day basis in actual life. But it's like the more and more that you live on this planet, the more of idiocracy you see around you. And it's like, oh, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You can't sit on a boat for 4 hours without a fucking hot dog and a pretzel, man. Only in America. It's like it's unbelievable. Um, and then, on top of that, the prices for things. They charge you $80 to sit on this, $80. And I'm thinking about, like, and a lot of people have talked about this in just about anything that you want to do in this day and age. If you have a small family, like, you're married and maybe you have a kid, two kids, good luck doing anything. Good luck doing anything, because you're shelling out at least half a grand usually on whatever it is that you want to go do. Granted, there's plenty of free things that you can go do, but eventually there's gonna be something where you're like, okay, we want to go and partake in that, whatever, maybe a sporting event, or go whale watching, whatever it is. That's the going rate for a lot. It's insane. It's $80 to sit on a boat right out into the water. Mind you, we saw the whale. The whale didn't like jump out, and I don't blame the whale for not jumping out of the water, because I wouldn't either if there's a giant boat standing right next to you. Again, I think it absolutely disturbed them. Maybe they'll try to tell you otherwise, be like, no, 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 we're not disturbing them. I think whales can sense a giant boat not that far away from them. I think they're a little more intelligent than us. But that's just my humble stupid guy opinion. Again, I'm a stupid guy, so I don't know. But yeah, they $80 for riding out on a boat for a few hours and just being in the water and seeing a whale for a little bit, and that's it. $80. And if you go with I mean, you're spending a few $100s on that. And if you're gonna be the one, if you're gonna buy food, because you need your food and you need your beverages on the boat, you're shelling out half a grand. Like, who has that money? Who has that money? Like, are you like, what are we doing? And the problem is, people, inflation and whatever. The problem is stupid. Again, like I said, I'm stupid. I bought the ticket. Stupid. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. I did it. Because we just fucking consume this shit. Right? Nobody votes. Nobody votes with their fucking wallet. People just keep buying. People just keep spending. So what do you think companies that their sole goal is to make as much money as possible? Yeah, we're not going to change. People keep buying the tickets. People keep buying the products. Who cares? Who cares what a couple of angry people go and say on the internet? People are just going to keep buying. The only way anything changes is if people just stop spending, and I don't think we're going to get to that point anytime soon. And this is happening in literally like any industry you can think of. I mean, even video games. Like, you look at video games, the pricing. I mean, you used to pay $60 for a game. It was pretty steep, and now it's $70. The next GTA is gonna be $100 probably, right? I mean, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, bro, there's people where I live. Like I said, I grew up in New York. I'm not in New York anymore. Where I live now, there's people working for $7, $8 an hour. $7, $8 an hour. That still exists in this country, and they're gonna spend basically. I mean, not even. That's not even more than a day of earning on a video game. That's insane. That's insane. That shit like that is still happening, and it's getting worse. And that's not inflation, bro. That's just companies knowing, like, people are just gonna keep spending. People are just gonna keep buying. So they're gonna keep consuming. So, just keep jacking up the price. Who cares? There's not gonna be enough people that actually vote with their wallet, which I don't know. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Another thing that actually has been on my mind recently is our problem with. Actually, before I move into this, I want one more thing about just water and the oceans and stuff like that, because I talked about the whales. especially in the East Coast of the US, like how dirty our water is just my God, man. Again, you want to talk about I don't know what efforts are I know more efforts have been like made to clean up our oceans and whatever, and it's getting a little better. But I'm sorry, Boston Harbor is still pretty dirty. You could see it. Like it's still pretty dirty. At least before you get out into the deeper water, you could still see that it has a lot. Like you have to. There's more cleaning that needs to be done. Like there's just visible. There's garbage, and it's the same thing. Same thing in New York. It's just water. It's dirty. It's dirt. You can see it, and again, this obsession with robots, this obsession with AI. It's like, dude, first off, let's figure out where we dump our let's stop dumping our garbage into the oceans. Like that way, I think that would be a good place to start. And immediately like people are like, oh, you fucking hippie, and it's like, dude, it, I don't understand why that's the immediate like argument. It's like, why is it a bad thing to want our oceans clean, to want our environment clean? You know what I mean? Like it's just this is our planet. Like we all live here. You know what I mean? We all live here, and to think about the damage that we've done to some especially like animals like the whales, the dolphins, the fishes in the ocean, the damage that we've done to them. And we're worried about stupid solutions to problems that we don't need solutions to with our technology, and like we're not making more of an effort to fix that. And people are. I'm not saying that nobody is, but I'm not seeing as many commercials for fixing the ocean, cleaning up our streets, solving homelessness as I am as seeing, hey, did you hear that there's a new AI for Google? Or there's a new AI for this tech company? Or there's a new AI for Apple? Or there's a new AI for this? I'm not seeing those ads. You turn on the TV, you're gonna see at least 5, 6 fucking AI ads. Now it's just nonstop AI, 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 and nothing about any of that. About anything that Hey, by the way, we designed this thing to help. No, no, there's no attention given to that. Why would we do that? Granted, are people going to go and buy a product that, you know, that cleans up the streets? No. So maybe it doesn't make sense that there's commercials for that. But, it's like the commercials tell you where companies' intentions lie, which is making money off of people, not actually going and making efforts to solve solutions, to solve problems that, you know, probably should have figured out, but no, they're not going to spend any time on that. They'd rather just, come up with some shiny gadget that you're going to go buy, and it's pretty much pointless. Ultimately, it's pretty much pointless. That's where we're at in this day and age, I guess. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I just wanted to talk about some stuff. I had some stuff on my mind. Um, Again, rest in peace to Ozzy. I know this video kind of went in a different direction, but he was on my mind especially when I saw what I did on YouTube about him, and I just weird, very weird times that we live in. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.